Have you ever looked around and wondered why some people just seem to effortlessly create the exact life they want, while the rest of us feel like we're stuck on a hamster wheel? It's a really frustrating feeling, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into a principle that might just be the missing piece of that whole puzzle. So, what is it? What's their secret? The philosophy we're breaking down today says it's not really about luck or timing or even just working harder than everyone else. Nope. It points to something much, much deeper, a kind of invisible force that's running the show in the background of your life. And there it is, so simple but so powerful. The big idea here is that your inner world, what you believe, what you feel, what you just assume to be true, that's the actual creative power in your life. It's not about waiting for the world to change, it's understanding that the world is literally changing to match you. To really get this, we've got to dive into the work of this really fascinating 20th century thinker, Neville Goddard. His whole philosophy was built on this one core idea, that your outer world, everything you see and experience, is nothing more than a mirror reflecting what's going on inside your consciousness. So what exactly is a state of consciousness? Well, it's not just a random thought you have. Think of it more like the operating system running your life. It's the grand total of everything you accept as fact. So if you deeply accept struggle as your reality, well, your world is going to reflect that. But if you can truly accept success, your world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match that assumption. And that leads us straight to the main effect, Goddard's central teaching, which he called the law of assumption. It sounds super simple, but if you really put it into practice, it holds some incredible power. Wow. This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It shows you the huge difference between just wanting something and assuming you already have it. Simply wishing for a better life isn't going to cut it. According to this law, you have to mentally and emotionally move into the state of the person who already has everything you desire. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how in the world do you actually do it? I mean, how are you supposed to build this new inner state when your current reality, your bank account, your job, is screaming the complete opposite? Let's get into the practical how-to stuff. It's not as complicated as it might sound. We can actually break it down into a pretty simple 3-step blueprint. First, you get crystal clear on what you want. Second, you get your mind ready to accept it as real. And third, you learn how to live from that new reality even before you can see it. Step 1 is all about clarity. You know, a vague wish just gets vague results. So you got to write it down, make it real, make it specific. But here's the key, and a lot of people miss this. Focus your energy. Instead of trying to manifest 10 different things at once, pick the one big thing that would change everything right now and pour all your attention into that. Okay, next up, step 2. This is where we start doing the real inner work. You've got to prepare the soil, so to speak. That means calming down all that mental chatter with a little meditation each day. It means rewiring your brain with affirmations in the present tense, not I will be, but I am. And this last one, this is a total game changer. Revising your past. Revision is such a cool technique. You take a memory that planted a seed of doubt, like, say, bombing a presentation at work. And in your imagination, you replay it. But this time, it goes perfectly. You nail it. You feel confident and proud. Now, you're not trying to deny what happened. What you're doing is changing the emotional power that memory has over you today. And that brings us to the final, and honestly, the most crucial step. This is the whole shebang. It's not just about picturing your goal. You have to actually feel the emotions of having it right now. What would it feel like? Relief? Joy? Freedom? You have to keep asking yourself, if my desire were already a fact, how would I be thinking right now? And then you start thinking those thoughts. I just love this way of thinking about it. It completely reframes everything, doesn't it? You stop being this passive character in a story where things just happen to you, and you become the writer, the director. You are literally scripting the very next scene with your thoughts and feelings right now. So let's talk about the hard part, the elephant in the room. What happens when you're doing all this internal work? You're feeling it real, but nothing on the outside has changed yet. Your circumstances are still the same. This is the moment. This is where almost everyone gets discouraged and gives up. So here's the toolkit for making the change stick. First, and this is huge, you have to let go of trying to figure out how it's all going to happen. That's not your job. Your only job is to stay in that inner state. Then practice gratitude. It keeps you in a feeling of abundance. Start looking for the small signs, the little synchronicities. And finally, surround yourself with things, books, content that reinforce your new belief system. When you strip everything else away, it all comes down to this one simple, powerful word. You have to persist. You hold on to your assumption as if it's already true, even when your senses are telling you it's not. You just calmly and confidently maintain that inner knowing, because by law, your outer world has to catch up. So as we wrap this up, the final question isn't really about whether this stuff works. The question lands right back on you. What story are you going to choose to write? What state of consciousness are you going to decide to live in, starting right now? Because according to this whole philosophy, the pen is entirely in your hands.